Hi, this is Mike, SBR Sports. We, especially here in South Africa right now, are in the thick of marathon, ultramarathon season. Comrades Marathon is round the corner. And so I want to give a little bit of advice on how to approach the big event with some things that you need to be incorporating at this point. One of the big things to incorporate and to bear in mind right now is core strength. You really want to have your abdominal muscles as strong as possible, so get some stomach crunches in. You want to have your obliques as strong as possible, so potentially during the crunches just make sure that you're doing little movements to the side. Also with a medicine ball, potentially just throwing it against a wall, getting your entire core as strong as possible. Core is going to be really, really important. Try and make sure that you are working on abdominal breathing. That might mean lying on your back and just really, really belly breathing, getting as much movement through the abdomen as possible, as much air moving through the lungs due to the work of your diaphragm as possible. Also, really, really important right now is you want to get your superficial backline as strong as possible. Maybe get some Superman done. Superman basically means that you're going to lie flat on the ground, face down, get your arms and your legs stretched out, and in that position you're going to just slowly lift your feet and your hands up. Get that entire area as strong as possible. One of the things that you want to be watching out for at the moment is your posture. The human head weighs about 6 kilograms. I've got a 7.5 kilogram dumbbell over here. And basically it's kind of heavier than what you think. Your head is, your neck does an amazing job in supporting a fairly heavy head on top of it. But as long as I've got it here, I can kind of just hold this thing upright. The issue comes if I now begin to lean this dumbbell forward. It becomes incredibly difficult to hold up. So the moment I've got this thing angled forward, to actually hold it there in that position becomes really, really difficult. The same is exactly true for a runner. Whether you are doing a 10K and your neck and your shoulders begin to get tired, even worse with the 21, worse with the marathon, much worse with an ultramarathon. If you're starting to run and your head is beginning to move forward like that, the amount of work done by your neck and shoulders to support the head becomes immense and becomes very, very tiring, and you want to avoid that. You really want to be running with your head on top of your shoulders and not in that forward and slouched position. So it's a good time to work on that sort of shoulder strength, neck strength. Sit tall at work, stand tall. Just make sure that head is positioned properly on top of your shoulders. Also really important time now to get your hips as strong as possible. Some glute medius. I'm just going to drop this slightly. What you don't want during the run is hip drops as this leg comes up and you support it on your right leg, that the hip drops down like that. You really want to be running with a straight hip. There's a lot of energy that gets wasted in that position. So maybe get a TheraBand and get the TheraBand around your ankles and that sort of nice movement side to side. Get some hip hikes done. Anything that you can do to get your glutes and especially glute medius as strong as possible is going to be important. This is also time now where things are getting a little bit colder. There are more infections. There are going to be more cold infections, sinus infections going around, and so you want to boost your immune system. Have a chat to your pharmacist, whether you go vitamin C or Echinoforce, or I take Viral Choice. Get onto something that's going to get your immune system as strong as possible. Chat to your pharmacist, especially if you're nervous that the immune booster is going to interact with any medication that you might be on. Also get an alcohol hand rub. If someone shakes your hands and you're nervous that they've got viruses or bacteria on their hands and you don't want that getting into your nose or into your eyes, you can always just spray your hand, get that alcohol on it, get everything as clean as possible. This is also the time now to get rid of niggles. Foot, calves, knees, quadriceps, hamstrings, hips, lower back, shoulders, whatever it is, as you're approaching your 10, 21 marathon, ultra marathon, get rid of the niggles now. The longer the race, the more that niggle has got a chance of really, really playing up. Don't waste time. Getting rid of niggles, by the way, does not mean taking an anti-inflammatory or getting a cortisone injection. It means getting to the cause of it so that you can work on that. Also, a good time now to strengthen your feet. Make sure that your feet are nice and soft rather than with a tennis ball. If you're lying on the couch, get your toes stretched out. Remember, they spend the entire day squeezed in your shoes, and you really want to get them as strong as possible at this time. Little side point there is make sure that when you're just casually walking around, that you do walk around with shoes. If you clip your baby toe on a chair right now, that is potentially the end of your upcoming race, and so you want to be careful that you don't do something silly at this point. Also, this is time now to do a little bit of maths. What you don't want to do at a marathon or an ultra marathon is pitch up there with your pair of running shoes that you've now run in, but your shoes have come to the end of their life. So you don't want to hit comrades, which is 86, 87, 88 kilometers with 800 kilometers on the shoe. Typical running shoe's got about 900 k's worth of life, but you don't want to have one of the biggest days in your running career on a pair of shoes that has already lost significant amounts of cushioning. So do the maths now. Make sure that you get into a freshish pair of running shoes for your big event. They should have 100, 200 k's on so that they properly run in. If you've still got a bit of mileage left on your older pair of shoes, that's fine. Get your new shoes run in, get them on your big day, and then when you're finished with your big day, you can always then get into your older pair of shoes. Let's say they've got 800 k's on and you still want to take them another 100 k's, you can do some of your shorter runs post-marathon, post-ultra in those shoes so that you get value for money. Also important time now to make sure that you've got a blister strategy. Are you in the right socks? There are different types of socks on the market, or are you using some kind of chamois cream or Vaseline on your feet? Make sure that on the day you have a blister strategy. I hope that all helps. If there's anything that we can help with, give us a call, and we'd love to be of service to you. Have a wonderful day. Mike, SBR Sport.